Hello and welcome everybody to Entangled Frequencies, your channel all about music making and sound design. In this episode, I want to make a review about the Razer synthesizer. The Razer synthesizer is running in Reaktor, a product from Native Instruments, and actually it's one of my most beloved synthesizers. I use it a lot. It's an additive synthesizer. Which has a lot of nice manipulation methods of the overtones, and especially in the higher frequency range you can make mechanical sounds and you can make bass lines with it and every kind of that sound. So let's just head over into Ableton and take a look. So we can drag from the plugin section the Reaktor 5 onto our session view, and then we get this window, and here we can select the player, click on Razer, here get the synth, double click on it. We don't want to use any sound that is saved as a preset, so just init Razer here in the Aerosmith action section, and then we are ready to go. So pretty basic, we start with that kind of sound. As you have heard, there is a glide function already activated. So yeah, let's start with the voicing section here. We got the overall pitch tune where you can just pitch to a certain octave, especially when you are doing bass lines and you don't want to go into the sequencer on a very low octave. Then you might tune the pitch here on -12, which then brings you an octave down. We got the fine tune here as well if you want to make the synth sounding a little bit off the grid. So yeah, we have a glide function here, which you have heard already. So if two notes are overlapping, they will make a glide. You can deactivate this auto thing, and then they don't even have to overlap each other. So by just tapping onto a note, you get a glide effect anyways, and the height of this knob or the value of this knob will then indicate the transition from one note to another, the time of the transition. So yeah, we got the phase alignment here and a random phasing. I actually don't use it a lot, so the difference between fully opened and closed knob is barely hearable. You need to go into a more overtone rich sounds to just have the effect audible. And yeah, so that's about the voicing section. We have here a mono voice. We can make the synthesizer polyphonic and set the numbers of voices here. And yeah, we can select single trigger or general trigger more notes at once. Here we can set a quality. Depends on your mix and where your synth is acting in your mix. You can reduce the quality to save some CPU capacity. So yeah, here in this middle section we have a nice view. We're going here on oscillator 1 and tap a note. You can see that is the spectra of the oscillator 1, and we can choose different fields here. We can choose the view for the filter. If I play it now, can now see how the filter is acting, so that's coming in pretty handy. You got the clipper section here where you have a spectral clip. I will continue with that later. And stereo output, you can just take a look how your stereo output is. If I activate the reverb, you see it will spread onto the left and right channel. Yeah, we have the general output as well, and the scope where we can see the sound. We have the opportunity to activate 3D view to just follow the visuals from the point of clicking or from the current. So yeah, what else do we have? Let's begin with, or no, here on the bottom we have all the modules we are using in the synth. And here on the very bottom we have the envelope section. We can select a little bit of delay, and we have 2 LFOs and a sidechaining function. So here on the top right, as I said, the spectral clip, and what is pretty nice is the save bass function. Here we can add a little bit of more bass. That is good when you're designing a bass line with a very detailed overtone structure and boost it a little. Then you might get too low power in the lower end, and just put the amount of the save bass up and fine tune your bass line subs back in. So let's take a look at the modules. We have 2 oscillators which we can use, and both oscillators offers different structures. In terms of additive synthesis, we can here select some waveforms that are pre-synthesized but are still manipulatable. So of course we have a pulse to saw wave. This knob, we can twist it all the way to the left, we get a pulse sound, all the way to the right, a saw, and of course we can somehow take a middle value, and that's some kind of a nasty sound. Now you can't hear the overtones, but we can take a look onto the pulse to saw function here. Going back to, when we click here, we have the waveform selection. If we click on close, we go back to the overview, and we can here select oscillator 1. If we now play it, put it on 3D for just demonstration purpose. And you can then see what the oscillator will do if you just select your waveforms here. And yeah, we got different others. We have a pulse width function. We have a dual saw. Let's take a look at that. As you can see, you can add a little bit of overtones here. We have a primes function, where we can select certain primes from the in the overtones. And yeah, we have mixed pitch bend as well. And yeah, a formant oscillator. They're kind of nasty if you don't have a filter activated, so let's head over to the filter. Here we have a low pass ramp filter, a low pass broad ramp filter as well, as you might want to say. We have some phasers where the peak at cutoff end is distorted a little. We have a band pass, we have an EQ decay, so these values after you've played a note will decrease then. So that's an automated equalizer function. Have a vowel filter, which is kind of nice if you want to have like voice imitating sounds. So if we take a look, click here on filter 1, we can actually see what happens, and we got a vocoder as well. Yeah, here on the bottom we have some kind of different filtering methods as well. We got a high pass here, a band reject, and if you want to do some mechanical sounds or technological sounds, comp notch or the comp peak filter. We have a phaser here, multi-mode dirty filter. I think you have to try it out and figure out the sounds that they are providing. So going into them in detail would crack the video length. So try it. I will keep the video description on the basic function. So yeah, let's select a low pass ramp just for demonstration purposes. And what we can do, oh no, let's just continue with the other modules first. We have here small effect sections, where a section where we can manipulate the sound even further. We can give it a metallic structure. We can add a second oscillator. Pitch it, we have semitone spacing, of course the frequency shift here in this synth. It's integrated, yeah, we have tuned beating. I'm actually not quite sure. No, you can't. You can't actually see what this does. You can look into the output. As you can see here, you have the you can move the overtones a little. So we have a stretching function. Very much opportunities to manipulate your overtones, especially if you, as I said, want to logical metallic. Yeah, a second FX section here would be the reverb. Oh no, would be here. We can select a reverb. We can select a little air distortion, add a chorus, or spread it into the stereo field. Pan it. What I like a lot in the synth is the reverb, the sync reverb, because it gives the sound a little bit more power. It makes it broader, and especially when you have impulse-like sounds, you can stretch it over the complete stereo field. Decay a little up. Since it's an additive synthesizer, it's really nice. You get very clear sounds, nothing distorted there. So, benefit. Last but not least, here we can give the sound a little bit more expression. When you are doing designing a bass line, you can compressor here is working pretty nice. If you want to make a drive, you can here take the saturator and then as you can hear this function distortion for your sound. So yeah, if we are looking here in the envelope section, we have the envelope as usual in the RDSR with the RDSR values, and you can select here the power or the volume manipulation, the velocity impact. So if I hit the key softly, sound will be kind of quiet. If it's fully opened, the top has been reached its full its maximum value, and yeah, So you can map the velocity here on volume of the synth sound volume. So we got 2 other envelopes as well, which we can map separately. So if I want to give the low pass ramp filter an envelope, I click on this field, click on envelope, then pull the knob, just click and keep clicking, pushing the mouse button, move the mouse up, and then set the range of relation with the envelope too. So as usual, the RDSR function, you can set how the envelope's behaving. You have these pulse like sound. As I said, use the reverb, synced reverb. It will give your sound a lot of more character. We have a delay section, which we can activate here. For instance, use it on the envelope too as well, so the delay will affect this low pass ramp filter. And here it will tell you of the cutoff. Yeah, we can also map an LFO. So we're selecting here on this button, select our functions, the LFO, drag it up. Put the sustain up a little to sound continuously continue, and as you can see, the LFO. You can add a sidechain for the envelope and the LFO, or other functions as well. They will influence each other. So you can set the amount, how much that will be. I don't use it a lot, but yeah, you can try. And so yeah, let's take a look on the bass, save bass function. So we know this sound. I will give it a little bit more volume. LFO off again. And yeah, now I want to show you. Wait a second. If we are looking in our spectra, I will put in the spectra of Ableton out of the way. We have here the color function. So the lower end frequency to higher frequency range, or you can tune the give the higher frequencies a little bit more volume. So up. Up. I would just show you that kind of. I will put it all the way up. As you know, the human ear does hear the lower frequencies more quiet, so they need a higher amplification to be heard properly. So now we have a sound that is very focused on the higher end. Now selecting the save bass. Oh, now I explode my speakers. Luckily, as I always have, I have on the master a... Oh, it's a utility. I've blown up your speakers probably. It's always advisable to add a limiter. So that kind of stuff does not happen. So I can give, I can add a little bit more bass if we output. I'll have a ramp. And the sound from the oscillator will. And yeah, so that's about that. And if we are now having too much, the output is something like that. And we want to now cut off some certain frequency, certain peaks of our waveform or of our spectra and output. We'll just use that. If we now activate the spectra, we can here go onto the spectral clip. We can go click here on the clipper, activate that. Then we can cut the peaks off if we want to. We are decreasing the slope. Can cut away the pitch, the higher frequencies. You have to keep in mind that if you're activating the save bass, it will add a saw wave, so the slope will determine how much of the higher frequency leaving that low value. Then you just add bass. You're putting it all the way up. And here you will add a little more overtones from the saw wave. So yeah, that's the synthesizer. I like it a lot. You can do a lot of stuff with that. For instance, something like that. That's kind of sound when put the sustain up a little more. With a comp peak filter, you can add some movement if you. Oh, that's not, and we want sine wave. Yeah, you can select the sine wave by clicking this tiny picture here, waveform, and it up and down. Sine wave. Probably it doesn't make sense to just have the full capacity of the full range of cutoff activity. On phase as well. Here on this button you can match the LFO to the beat. You have on LFO2 you have the possibility to influence the LFO1, so that's doable as well. So yeah, that's the Razer synthesizer. I love it. I like it. You probably see it in a lot of other movies on my channel where I design sounds, but this video should give you an impression of the functions of the Razer. Oh, what I was What I have nearly forgotten is that you have some macro section here as well. If you're going here, you have 8 knobs where you can set some automation or macros for values. If I click here on oscillator 1, I can here on this circles activate that. If I now go all the way down and twist the knob here, you increasing by the indicator. If you're clicking on filter, you get the circles here, get the cutoff a little modulated. And you can do it with the FX here. Call it decay if you want to prepare for a break. Just pull it all the way up. And modification here is acting with the envelopes and on this bar, drag it to the right, and then you see. So yeah, that's the macros. And actually that's everything I wanted to tell you in this video. Yeah, I hope you liked it, enjoyed it, learned something, and I hope to see you soon. So as always, groove on.